I believe in God. I don't need a church. Millions of people say this, and it makes sense. You can pray at home. You can read the Bible in bed. So why would you need a church at all? For a lot of people, the church is the reason they've walked away from the faith in the first place. So let's actually ask it. Do you need a church or not? A lot of people rest their whole faith on the Bible, but almost none of them know where the Bible actually came from. Because for the first Christians, there was no Bible, the same way there was no church as a building. The word they used was ecclesia. It meant a gathering, people coming together. But let's be fair first. The case against the church is stronger than most Christians admit. For centuries, churches waged war and sold forgiveness for money. If the church really belongs to God, why has it failed so many times? And if it fails like any human institution, then maybe that's all it ever was. Maybe you really are better off alone, with God and nothing in between. It's a real argument, and we'll come back to it later. But first, here are 3 important reasons that might change your mind. Start with the Bible. It didn't drop out of the sky. For almost 300 years, there was no book called the New Testament. There were dozens of writings scattered across the empire, and nobody agreed on which ones counted. Some were genuine, others were forgeries. Somebody had to sort the true from the fake. That somebody was the church. Bishops meeting together, deciding which books were the Word of God. Take the church away, and truth becomes a free-for-all. One person reads the Bible and says Jesus is God. The next reads the same words and says he was only a man. Who decides who's right? On your own, there's no answer. Only opinions against opinions. That is the work the church has been doing for 2,000 years. When Arius taught that Christ was created, the bishops gathered at Nicaea and settled it. And people started smashing icons and calling them idols. Another council answered that too. Every dogma you take for granted was fought over, argued out, and decided by men sitting in a room together. These are things you simply cannot give yourself. You can't baptize yourself. You can't forgive your own sins. You can't take bread and wine in your kitchen and make it the body and blood of Christ. Christ said, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. And to the apostles he said, whose sins you forgive are forgiven. Whose sins you retain are retained. These are the sacraments. The moments where God reaches into the world. Cut yourself off from the church, and the bread stays bread. The water stays water. You're left to full faith you can only think about, but never really experience. So what about the failures? The wars? The money? The abuse? Here's the thing. The church never claimed to be a room full of perfect people. Christ picked 12 men, and one of them sold him for money. Another swore he'd never abandon him, then denied him 3 times before morning. That was the first generation, chosen by Christ himself, and it already went wrong. But the medicine still works, even if the man behind the counter has done terrible things. What the church carries is never dependent on the man carrying it being clean. So, do you need a church? You can believe on your own, you can pray on your own, but Christianity was never meant to be done alone. From the very first day, it was people together around one table. Take the church away, and you're left with yourself without the Bible, the doctrines, and without the sacraments. If you want to see more of these videos, please consider supporting us through our Patreon.